This clip is brought to you by Piedmontese Beef, the best beef on the planet. Use code POWER for 25% off your entire order. Enjoy the clip and enjoy your meat. Talk a lot about trying to stay present. We've introduced the cold. That's a new thing for us. But we've also really been talking about breathing a lot on the podcast. And I do find it kind of crazy, especially since, you know, we brought Patrick McEwen onto the podcast about 4 years ago. He wrote The Oxygen Advantage. And switching the way we breathe, you know what I mean? To doing more nasal breathing, calming down, switching that, even for myself, allowed me to calm down a lot. And I've always been pretty chill. I've never been really erratic or whatever, but even just focusing on nasal breathing and relaxing allowed me to be a more relaxed individual with everything that I did.
Everything else, yeah.
But it's so wild that this one thing is something that when you walk around and you watch people breathe, a lot of people are breathing up here.
Yep.
And when
shallow breaths.
When you understand what shallow breaths do and how it taps into the sympathetic nervous system and just innately makes you more, if something happens, if I were to go like that at Mark and he wasn't relaxed, he'd be like, oh shit.
Right.
But the person being more relaxed, like things that would typically get to them don't get to them. And it's a simple fix if you could just focus on nasal breathing, breathing a little bit slower, that thing that you do all day long and when you're sleeping. If you just switched a little bit, so many things in your life and the way you handle things can be switched around.
Yeah. That awareness shift just with all things is the biggest step for a lot of people. Most people, nobody's driving the car. Nobody's driving the avatar. The avatar is literally doing its own thing. It's deeply conditioned. It's trained to do all these poor habits and poor behaviors, and nobody's driving it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when they finally start doing this type of work, you know, a driver finally starts getting in that seat and starts taking the wheel and starts finally changing the tires and changing the fucking windshield washer fluid and giving it a wash. Because up until that point, that thing's just fucking run ragged and, you know, it's bad, you know. And yeah, it's nice to see people finally start taking the wheel in a way.
I like the idea of breath work, especially as it pertains to meditating. I think for some people, people have tried meditation before and maybe it doesn't vibe well with them or they don't like it for whatever reason. They have a hard time just kind of
getting still.
But I've noticed the cold plunge has been a great form of meditation.
Yes.
And I've always thought that maybe it's my excuse for like not sitting down and like meditating in a traditional way. But I always thought there's lots of ways to meditate.
Yes.
So I consider like some of my walks and some of my runs and some of even just training in general.
Running's a big one for a lot of people.
I kind of consider it to certainly have a meditative effect in some ways.
I think if whatever's present is meditating, right? If you were in the present moment all the time, you wouldn't have to meditate.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, right. Sometimes when I'm running, I'm fucked. I got nothing else to think about other than like, man, you better focus on your breath.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be pretty hard.
Yep. Yeah. So anytime that you're present is a form of meditation. So you're exactly right. And whatever those things are, that's why that board is so nice. Like if you're authentically dancing, if you're authentically painting, if you're focused on something, that is a meditative state. That's a great way to look at it. You know, if you're in the present moment, you are meditating.
Guys, we're working hard over here trying to learn, trying to bring our information to you, and we need your help. A lot of you guys watching these bites aren't subscribed. So just click that red subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can see when we continue to come out with this heat. Talk to y'all later.